Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not forcing anybody to make more money. Keep this vlog about keep your life clean of idiots. Then I didn't see any change and it only got worse. Then I say bye bye.
If you cannot handle real work, reality talk, 80+ language, simply skip the video.
Vlog number, I always need to check if it's actually running. I turn off the beep. The thing is, vlog number 104. Let's keep this vlog about keep your life clean of idiots. And I'm gonna use a real life example how it ripple effects into the world. Not only into the world, but also in your own life. And if you're watching this, you know, this is my vlog and I can talk about whatever I want, and like always I don't mention names, but I do believe when there are negative situations are going on, and especially when I have to be involved in it, because you're slacking simply because of judgment, but also not being ruthless enough to keep your life clean, well, so be it. So this is the thing, I'm staying in an Airbnb, and there's one guy, he asked me yesterday, yeah, can you not tell the other guy that I'm over here because of this and this, because he has some habits and blah blah blah. Well, that is all fine that he has bad habits and that you allow it in your life, so I don't get affected by it. But the moment that people start involving me because they don't want to tell the other guy, hey, because you have this and this kind of habits, and that disrupts a little bit my peace of mind, and that is simply about honesty, right? But anyway, let's finish this first. So he asked me actually, can you then, you know, tell me that I'm not over here, blah blah blah. I said okay, but this morning he obviously contacted me, is this guy over there. Well, I made up a little thing which I totally don't like, and I also sent him a message that, you know, because he's still sleeping, because, you know, people who are not ruthless, honest, they have also not really disciplined, so they have to sleep a long time. With all the respect that you say when you see this, there's no disrespect towards you as a person. You're probably the greatest person on the planet in your own world. But the thing is, I'm using this as real life examples because, let's say it like this, you're allowing a friend of yours that had bad habits. First of all, he disturbs your peace. Now your friend has to ask me to be silent about the fact that he stays over there, because, let's say it in how it is, he is too cowardless to tell you, but he asked me to lie. And that ripple effects already into his habits, ripple effect into 2 other people. And this is something that is only 2 people that I know about, him and me. But if people have such a bad habit that it disturbs other people, their peace, well, trust me, there are way much more individuals that it affects. His bad habits simply ripple effect into the world. Now, I have no bad feelings about anybody of those people, but though their habits, you know, they're not totally off the grid of my level of discipline. And, you know, I like to live by a set of rules, extremely ruthless and non-negotiable rules, which means respect on a very high level, honor on a respect on a high level, keeping your word and all that kind of stuff. We're not getting into this, but, you know, what is the takeaway from this? No matter if they like it or not, your so-called friends, be ruthless, honest to them. Not only for your own peace, as a, you know, for your selfish purposes, you know, so you have more in peace. But next to that, you know, if somebody has such a bad habit that it affects other people in a negative way, well, you also do him a favor, him or her a favor. But not only this, business-wise, because I know they do a little bit business together. But let's say it also like this: when you're watching this, because I know one of you is following me, the thing is, I always have a feeling that I want to stay away when this guy is over there, simply because he has bad habits. What are bad habits? Well, in his case, when he drinks a little bit, he starts slamming the doors. He starts shouting like a madman without any limits. Well, one of the red flags, and if you watch my vlogs for the first time, I talk about a lot of red flags of people in their characteristics that you should stay away from, because they did not arrive yet on some sort of level. But also, if you're a person of high level energy, that means more opportunity, more adversity in life, because the positive comes with the negative, and especially when you're higher energy, you will attract a lot of more opportunities, but also a lot of adversities. But you know, when you allow people with some sort of red flags, a lot of red flags, into your life, you're running on a handbrake. I've been there, done that, and if this is the first time you watch my vlogs, I started selling door to door when I was 11. Now I'm 46 and doing everything from the phone. I live a life of freedom, but also of ruthless discipline, and I keep my circle as clean as a freaking whistle. And of course, I talk with normal people. I talk also with alcoholics. I talk with people who are heavily addicted to drugs. I talk with people of very high level. But people who I work with on a daily basis, they are ruthless. Ruthless, honest. Ruthless when it's about working discipline. We never complain about, oh, so many hours, or this and this. No, ruthless. Ruthless, but that is simply the level that I worked myself up with. But also I learned along the way, because of a lot of heartbreak, cost of there was a lot of cost of energy, cost of money, and cost of time that you will never get back. I'm 46. I'm going to be 47 this year. So my intention also with sharing this, I speak to you, the person maybe behind the camera. Maybe you're a high level energy person, or a person who wants to do more in life, which also indicates a little bit some sort of higher level energy than the average person, because the average person does not have the level of energy to actually even think about escaping the 9 to 5, and or has the balls to actually speak up. But if you are a little bit a high energy person and you want to get somewhere, then please listen, because it saves you a lot of headaches. So first of all, be ruthless, honest to other people around you, no matter what. And a lot of people also from the past, in my past, but also sometimes still at this point, people say, yeah, Don, that sounds very rude. But I never say it in a rude way. I say it in the most honest way. But now at my age of 46, almost 47, I know how to say it more subtle. But before until I was 40, was way much more like a wild baboon saying things. And then for, let's say, a lot of weak people, it sounded very rude. Then there's another side of the coin, the level of intelligence. Because I'm going to share this also. When people tell you something about what you're doing wrong, without actually giving the feedback and the why and how to solve it because of their own experience and or intelligence, if they do, is it just useless judgment or not? See, I always give now the feedback, what I would do. I give them always multiple perspectives, and that I do understand a lot of behavior. But I also would tell them that nobody benefits actually from, let's say, the negative behavior, like in this case, you know, ask or lie about the fact that he's not over there in that room to escape his friend. Well, first of all, when I think about that you have to escape your friend, well, the level of friendship is also not that high. If you lie to your friend, that there is, in my opinion, there is a below zero accountability about any kind of word that you would give to each other, that you would label each other as friends, you know. And also, let me tell you this, I don't have friends, I got bonds, people who walked 100,000 miles extra. And I don't deal with friends. Friends are people you meet in bars, or maybe you know, and maybe also, and when you meet people in bars and they call you very quickly, yeah, brother this. Fuck you, brother, I'm not your brother. And by the way, if you label other people as your brother, I'll be prepared to walk the fucking walk. And don't do half work. See, but you know, this sounds very, 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 very rude and everything. But that's why I'm trying to polarize my audience. Audiences that can handle the truth, want to face the truth, and definitely want to be ruthless, honest to other people, to live in the first place yourself in the most realistic way possible. Because people who deny things, people who turn past events, people who just make things up, suck things out of their big toes, your life is going to hell. That's where you're gonna end up. That's what I highly believe in, because I see it from all the people from the past who make up all kind of things, and especially the people who make up things that are self-inflicted mental disorders. Those people, those first of all, they all live a life of slavery. They know. Next to that, they banging the most ugly chicks. With all the respect to the ugly chicks, and also the other way. I know from a lot of women, also, let's say female friends. Yeah, they make up things. They also settle down because, you know, yeah, now I'm on this age and this fuck age. You know, I'm 47, of 46. And I'm still, I'm at the moment single, and I'm not one of those people who would say, no, I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm still didn't meet the right person with the right energy, because I'm not gonna settle down. I did settle down a couple of times, but then you start seeing things through the fingers. Yeah, it's okay for now. No, it's not okay. It's never okay, because it ripple effects, especially when you're a person who is obsessed like me with growth. You cannot allow any kind of bullshit, because, and I also want to talk about this yesterday, bullshit comes always with more bullshit. Always. Ah, damn it. Wait a minute, I need to go somewhere else. So where was I? Because the church bell, they will start belling, ringing. How do you say this? Belling, ringing? I don't know. The thing is, you know, bullshit people come always with other kind of bullshit. And especially when it's about women. And in my case, so if you're a woman, then it's the same thing with guys. I think in general, people never come, let's say, like individuals. All the behaviors from previous exes is pretty similar to the girls that I hang around with. In my case, I say girls because, you know, I'm not a gay guy and I'd hang around with women. The thing is, what I want to say, that I'm not some kind of hate against women guy. No, I'm just saying it from my perspective. The thing is, they all had similarities, and that's what I'm also very, very aware of. That when I'm dating now, I'm looking at how are the girls around her, what do they allow. I had one of my exes actually from last year. She had one girlfriend. She took things very willy-nilly. So she had also multiple boyfriends while she had a baby with one. So I knew her. And if, let's say it like this, if you allow people like this around you, trust me, your standards are just the same. And that sounds like, yeah, that sounds very rude, but what if we know each other for such a long time? Well, let me tell you this, people change. Hey, you get older, but you know, some kind of habits in some people, they never go away. Like cheaters, okay, they probably changed at one point, but this one did it so all over the top. And that's why I also start getting a little bit, I didn't get paranoid in a way, oh, you cannot do this or cannot do that. I will never capture somebody. All my exes know that I would never say, oh, you cannot do this because otherwise you're gonna cheat. No, if you want to cheat, you're gonna cheat. You know, it ripple effects. You know, I will smell it, and not only because of perfumes and all that normal people kind of bullshit. You can see it on somebody's behavior, and I also walked away for other reasons from that specific person, and it's simply because she put her hand on an animal, which means she beat up a cat. And by the way, I'm gonna make a video about it because something else happened to that cat also. And you know what? This is not a revenge talk and or taking action against other people, no. But I want to share those, let's say, quote unquote bad experiences, people with bad characteristics, so you can learn something from it, so you don't fall for those people. Maybe you start recognizing things that I'm saying. So for example, this is very important. I do believe this is very important. Look at the behavior from the 3 closest people, and this is not some classic thing what they say on the YouTube videos, show me your 5 best friends and I show you how rich you are. No, you have to make a decision if you want to continue with a person or start a relationship with a person based upon that. And it's not about how rich people are and or, but yes, some habits and let's say standards also, they ripple effect. If I would allow, and I made a vlog about this, of people about who are liars, and people who from my past start changing events and the course of events, or they forgot because they're a little bit older, but it's all bullshit. Some people have above average intelligence because one guy, he speaks multiple languages. It means you are a little bit above average intelligence. I do believe this, and he forgot about some very big event called a gangbang, but that is a whole different story. But he was also changing events, and I don't want to be surrounded by this. I also don't even want to talk to those people because everything what comes out of somebody's mouth who already changed past events, and you know, I wasted too much time on those idiots. That's how I see it. Don't waste time on idiots. That's how I also started this clip, right? I'm gonna say it again. Don't waste time on idiots. There are a lot of other great people on this planet, and that's something that I also a little bit did not understand when I was younger. You know, that there are more than 7 billion people on the planet, and especially at my time we didn't have the internet access, and until I was 30 I was totally not busy with the internet. But you know, people these days have so much access to other people. You don't need a single idiot in your life. Maybe if you're an idiot, then you're good to find other idiots. But if you, again, a high level energy person, and you want to keep your life clean from headache, and you want to have peace, and you want to prosper in life, not only prosper, also thrive in life, and not only maintain and just survive, yeah, then you have to start cleaning up your circle in the first place, but also, you know, keep it clean. That's another thing, because people get attached to each other, you know. I used to act a lot from my heart, which means, okay, I know this guy a little bit longer, or girl, and then you start getting attached, and then you start saying, okay, that is not so bad, maybe they will change. No, be ruthless. You only live once. We all live only once. Okay, some other people believe that we come back, maybe come back as a bird or a bear or a cat or I don't know what, but I'm doing it now, and I'm keeping my circle very, very clean, and I make my boundaries also very clear. And it's not that I'm demanding things, I'm saying everything in the most possible humble and respectful way. So this morning I told this guy, you know, I did what you asked me, and that's it. I'm also not if this guy would again contact me, I'm not gonna make up some other thing. I will not respond, and then I will tell the other guy, contact your friend, tell how it is, because I'm not gonna clean up your stuff. So what else can I say? Today it's actually, I totally forgot, it's vlog number 104, and let's say you want to do a little bit more in life and you watch my vlogs, or you did not watch my vlog, then vlog number 100 I explain a 1-minute exercise that contains 13, I cannot do it with one hand, I'm holding the other, with the other hand the stick. I explain a 13-step 1-minute exercise set, and I give away the Google Sheet. To compile this whole set took me multiple years, and you train your whole body, and this exercise set is for everybody who constantly travels, everybody who doesn't have the money for, let's say, go to the gym, or does not have the access that I do have over here in Sofia, Bulgaria, to all the calisthenic spots. No, this exercise is simply for you who does normally who would come normally up with all kind of excuses, and those excuses are not relevant anymore, because you can do this butt naked, get into shape in the next, I don't know how you look like, but you know, let's say you're a little bit chubby, you know, that's also something. And let's talk also a little about a chubby gym guy. But wait a minute, so if you're a little bit chubby, you want to get in shape, do it the next 60 days, 5 times a day. Start with this, the Google Sheet, just copy paste it into your Google Drive. When it's about the Google Sheet, yesterday I talked with a guy, he started doing it, and I put okay, if you know something about Google Sheet, you know, you can copy paste things, just figure it out. The thing is, if I have to choose this, copy paste, I put a marker over here so you can mark done. So this exercise for this day is done. This is another thought about this. If you don't track it, you don't know what you're doing, so you're running around like a wild chicken, and you won't progress, or let's say lose weight and or look better, and then you will lose hope. You need to track it. But this guy yesterday, he said, yeah, but Alan, I'm not very into Google Sheet, I'm not that technical. You know what? Copy paste. Every idiot on this planet can copy paste. If you don't know how to copy paste, well, we understand what kind of level you're living. And I'm saying this again with the best intentions, but come on people, put a little bit effort into the details. You know, a little bit detail, and put word in and work into it. You know, and it's the same with, let's talk a little bit about the business part. Normal people, more than 95% of the people that I meet with normal businesses are in the A to B services, products, commodities. You pay me, I give you product. That's it. And they will never think about there are hundreds of steps. Now let's say dozens of steps in between to increase the value of the client. But no, they're not focusing on how can I make the value of one single client more. Few things. You actually talk to a fucking client. I see how a lot of people treat clients, and especially the people in the suits, they lick ass just to make that one single sale, and it is and stays a one single sale. And the thing is, do I have anything against the people in the suits? No. Do I have anything against people who are only in the A to B thing? No. But what I do think, if you can do with the same amount of time that you invest in a single sale, and you would put a little bit into the detail, and that you actually speak with the client, that you actually try to think about to increase the purchase amount of money. I don't know how to say it at the moment. I'm getting a little bit emotional about this because I know there are multiple people that I talked with the past week. Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not forcing anybody to make more money, but I started this little tiny talk about a guy that I knew from a long time. He does not know how to copy paste. Yeah, I'm not really a tech guy. Yeah, okay. It's the same when the farmers would say in the past, yeah, I'm not a real tractor guy. But the ones who bought the fucking tractor and put a little bit of effort in it, you understand what I'm trying to say over here, right? I'm not asking you to invent some kind of rocket to fly to Mars. I'm just asking you to copy paste and then so you can mark it clean. Now he puts a letter D in it because it's easier. So when it's about taking easy, think about this. Like I always say, you know, when I try to meet people, I always prepare. I always try to make it an engaging so we have a conversation. Not only this, I try to put value to the table so they can think a little bit and a little bit of entertainment, make people laugh a little bit. Because I put the effort into details. I'm not gonna meet people and sit with them, you know, and talk about all my troubles. You know, I never share troubles with anybody. I share some situations, and my situations are way above the normality, so I'm not even getting started over here now. I will at one point, because I also mentioned this in previous vlogs, you know, I ended up in a lot of situations simply because I acted from the heart. I thought people their dedication was just as high as mine. No, people their level of dedication is really low, because at one point when things hit the fan, hit the bricks, then all of a sudden they're busy with their families, or uncles die and all that kind of bullshit. No, then that's why I'm also very ruthless when it's about setting my boundaries and being very I put a magnifier glass on people, their behavior. I once also was sitting with a woman, and now first of all, she wanted to eat a hamburger. Nothing against people who eat hamburgers, but don't start sucking on your fingers like it's the last burger you eat on the fucking planet. I said, I gotta go. And it's a very nice lady, but her table manners were way, I think, what is this? You know, it's disgusting. You know, she was eating the hamburger, the sauce. I for example, when I eat a burger, if I don't have a knife and fork, I always open it so can I actually little chunks. I don't put my whole mouth around the burger like I'm some kind of, yeah. And this is nothing against to the people who eat burgers the way I described it now about the woman, but for me that's a red flag. If you eat a burger like yeah, let's say like it is, like a drunk guy who comes out of a party tent, you know, somewhere in a village, and you eat the burger, yeah, that the sauce is dripping out of the thing, and then you suck on your fingers, like, you know, I think it's disgusting. And I also always think like this: if I would take people like this to people from my circle, they would say, I don't know, well, what is this? You know, what are you doing? Because bad behavior ripple effects into so many areas that you many times also not even aware of. You know, I'm aware of a lot of stuff because I'm very considerate to my environment and everything. I'm constantly, but I'm also hyper sensitive for this. And you know, when it's about sensitive, in the past people would say, yeah, you're always oversensitive. No, I was constantly hanging around with the wrong crowd. That's what I was doing, and I know. And the thing is, do I regret anything? No, because now I can share those things. But my level of being considerate to the people around me is a little bit higher than the normality. But if you would take away, let's say, 15% or 10% from it, you're probably gonna live a better life. And people will tell you that you're an asshole. Or maybe they say, yeah, oh, you changed so much. Oh, okay, good for you. It's your life. It's your life. It's the same with the training thing. You know, for example, you're a little bit chubby. Then you probably hang around with other chubby people too. And when you start doing those exercises, what I just talked about, yeah, some people around you will say, yeah, why don't you stay chubby with us? And because that's really something from life or in life. People pull you or push you where they are. Successful people, they love to push you in the direction where they are. People who are on a lower level, they will try to pull you down. And there is nothing bad about any of the people that I mentioned. It's about people want to feel comfortable, and especially when you're dealing with people who want to feel comfortable all the time, yeah, they want to pull you and keep you where they are, so they don't have to look at themselves in the mirror and say, hey, you know, maybe I should change this, maybe I should change that. And yeah, well, today's vlog sounds a little bit like a rant. You know that I have a lot of things against people, their behaviors. No, that's not the thing. I also see things in a much bigger way than I can explain, that I actually cannot explain in this one single video. But I can mention a very extreme person I had once, an ex. Yeah, she had I could smell it from everything, I could see it. You know, she had a very rough ride while growing up and everything, and her behavior came from that. So, but that's another thing. I closed my eyes a little bit to see if things like change would be possible if they would hang around with people with me, like me. You know, I'm very direct, I'm dedicated. I was dedicated to her for a little while, but then I didn't see any change and it only got worse. Then I say bye bye. It's my life. And also it's not about that I'm selfish. No, I also think if you still behave like this, you also don't feel good, let's say, around me. So we don't do each other a favor. And I did both a favor by walking away. I did multiple people a favor just by walking away, because we simply don't sync. Maybe in another lifetime, or maybe after a few years. Maybe, if God says so, if it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. And I'm good with both ways. I also don't have any hate, or that I would say, no, I don't forgive you for that, you know. And let me put this also a little bit of context. You know, I lost 3 years because of somebody else made a huge mistake, and it still swirls around. But do I hate him? It's a him, by the way. It's about a business thing. And no. Do I hate the person that who asked me for, I think, on a Sunday? Yeah, no, I need 25,000. Did I ever see the money back? No. Do I hate him? No. Somebody else, way much more money, also asked me all of a sudden for this. Do I hate them? No, I don't want to hate anybody. I don't want to have any negativity in my life, and especially not when I start, you know, let's say dating with a woman. I'm not gonna visit any idiots anymore, because I did this in the past. And then I'm gonna stop talking, because I know this sounds very negative, but I'm gonna share this one. She had a girlfriend who was constantly teasing the cat, her cat. And so, for example, we walked into the apartment and the cat was lying down on the bed over there, or on the couch, and she was always in front of the cat, like, shh, you know, just make it scared. And this is what I really think about people who are actually mistreating animals. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. I also once bashed a guy in the fucking neck, and I'm saying in the neck because I could knock him out, but the thing is, I was thinking, and I hit him like this in the neck, because he was constantly hitting his dog. At one point the dog also ran away. You know who you are. The thing is, they were always, because the dog was then with his face on the table, okay, but the thing is, you don't hit it like they were like bam, bam, bam. One other thing that I noticed from people who are hitting their animals, especially when it's about dogs, if I want to see what kind of person he is or she is, hold your hand above the dog, and if the dog just you know, wings with his eyes, you know there is something going on. And and I saw this from multiple people who worked for me, people who I had to visit because they were relatives of the girlfriends or whatever, all that kind of garbage people. I think people who hit animals, you're fucking garbage. I had a Doberman, so I'm gonna put a little bit disclaimer in it. A Doberman once in a while tries to be dominant, and what I did with her, that was Tessie. Tessie was my Doberman for 5 years in Holland, and she tried it once to be dominant over me. I took her by the legs, put her on the side, and put her belly up, and I said, you're never gonna do this again. She also never did it again. So I did it in the most humane way, but I had to show her who is actually the top dog. And I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, because, you know, this will, once you would show a little bit fear to a Doberman, and that ruins the whole balance of, let's say you're the owner, you have to take care of the animal. And this is and then I will stop talking about then I will stop talking in this vlog. The thing is, when you take an animal, you have to provide it with, I think, very, very authentic love, because animals feel really what your intentions are. Not only this, you have to provide it a roof, you have to provide it food, and if you lack any of those elements, you're just a piece of shit, and you should never take an animal in the first place. There's one more other thing that I would say about it. If people cannot take care of themselves, a lot of people cannot, then also not even consider to take an animal. In Holland I had a lot of animals. Let's talk about some animals that I had, so we finish this vlog in the most positive way, because I really like animals. I talk with a lot of animals. Yeah, that sounds weird, but anyway, we had rats, we had chinchillas, I had also the Doberman, I had a mini parrot, I had mini pigeons, I had 3 times a crow that I raised, so at the end of the summer they fly away. Very, very nice. I had also a box of mice. I think I forgot also about a few animals, but yeah. Anyway, keep your circle clean. Start training a little bit, the 1 minute, 13-minute set. Just watch it. I think the link is over here. The Google Sheet link is in the description. And don't be as this guy, no, I don't know how to put the marker. Also, when you do something, does it look good? You know, he puts the letter D in it. You know, you can copy paste the marker, it looks very nice, clean. So you put, you know, you put attention to it, you make sure that it presented right. And then people might say, yeah, but Alan, who is looking at my Google Sheet then? Nobody, but you know. You know. Never underestimate the fact that you know something and that you're slacking, because it ripple effects into the world, because you're doing half work. And it's the same thing about lying. If you think you can get away with it because other people believe you, yeah, good. But I believe the universe will hate you. And not only this, your character, and the more you stack your whole fucking lie pile, you know, yeah, your character goes to the drain, and that's something that you don't want. Discipline and be ruthless be incredibly ruthless to yourself. Nobody gives a shit if you do it or don't do it, but I do. I'm your digital uncle who gives you that kick under your fucking butt. Anyway, I'm gonna stop for today. Gonna upload this video, and yeah, for everybody who thinks that I'm talking about you in this vlog, well, I never mentioned your name, and I'm using you as an example. And I do believe the people that I talked about in this vlog, they know it's not right. And if you know that there's something not right, then don't do it. Simply don't do it, no matter what the consequences are. I'm thinking about a lot of situations that I actually caused by actually being really ruthless, honest also. But anyway, that's not a talk for today. I'm at the moment in Sofia, Bulgaria. I'm here in Sveta Troitsa Park. And like I said also in previous vlog, if you ever come to Sofia, Bulgaria, come train with me, drink beer with me, meet people with me. And is everything about drinking beer? No, people, I'm gonna close this vlog for today, but I'm gonna say I'm getting up at 5:15, and then I keep on talking with a lot of people. I'm doing my video calls, and then around 11 or 12 I'm going to do usually my calisthenic stuff. And in the evening I'm doing probably my runs, and then in between around 5 I do a beer, which I also actually at the moment do very less, maybe half liter or a liter, which is in my case pretty much nothing. But yeah, just to give you an insight. But watch my previous vlogs so you get more familiar with my world. And probably tomorrow I want to make a whole video about a strategy that you can do from your phone, because yeah, anyway, we're not gonna get into this. I'm gonna stop talking, and maybe I'm gonna make a video just a little bit around. Ciao for now.